So hello everyone, this is Akshay here and welcome back to another great day of our POTD streak of day 212. So today's question is a hard question, so let us see what the question says and how we can solve it. Question name is add operators, and given a string as that only contains the digits from 0 to 9 and an integer target, return all possible strings to insert the binary operator plus, minus or multiplication between the digits s so that the resultant expressive evaluates to the result value. Okay, there is also a note written here that the operands in the return expression should not return leading zeros. ठीक है, leading zeros नहीं होने चाहिए हमारे पास. And if no solution is found, return an empty string array. तो सबसे पहले तो इसकी जो return type of array list है तो first we have to make that as well. ठीक है, तो ये 1 2 3 and target 6 है तुमने दे रखा है. You have 1 star 2 star 3 and 1 plus 2 plus 3. ठीक है, तो हम तुरंत से इसको देखते हैं कैसे कर सकते हैं. So we have this thing as 1 2 and 3, right? So definitely we have to cover each and every path, right? So we have to cover each and every sub problems. So definitely हमें यहाँ recursion ही लगाना होगा. Also अगर आप इसकी constraint देखो, right? अगर ये हमारे पास expected time complexity नहीं दिया रहता और सिर्फ हमारे पास ये constraint in the CP और in OA, तो इतना कम है, like if it is below 25, then definitely ये question, then definitely that question would be solved by only one approach, that is recursion, if the constraint is below 25 itself, right? ठीक है. And this thing I have explained in my time complexity video as well, that how to trick the constraint, how to learn from constraint. ठीक है. So let us start. तो first सबसे पहले हमारे पास क्या होगा, we will have one, and for each and every we will have three option, right? So we will have plus, minus and star. So the next is 2, and then again we will have plus, minus and star. Again 2 here and 2 here, right? And we will have plus, minus, star. Again plus, minus and star. Now we have 3 here, right? Again 3 3 3 3 3. Now all the string has been ended, all the characters have been ended. We have started from I equals to 0 and we have iterated till I equals to 2, right? So हमारे पास, if we calculate it, if we calculate that what is the what to say, the value is accumulated. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, that gives you as 6, and here 1 plus 2, that is 3 minus 3, that is will give you as 0. Then again 1 plus 2, if we take this path, 1 plus 2 star 3, so it would be 3 star 3 9, correct? And again 1 minus 2 plus 3, so it would be minus 4. Similarly minus 3, am I right? I'm writing it correct? So it would be 2, right? First it would be 2, it would be 2, then minus 4, then minus 3, and then you will have 5, then 2 ones are 2, and minus 3, it will give you as minus 1, and then it will give you as 6. अब हमें देखना है, now we have to observe that wherever the target value is equals to 6, that path is my answer, and you will have an array list of answer, array list of string, right? You will have to append in it the path. So you can clearly see the path available here is this one, or let me highlight it. The path here available is this one, and then you have as this one, right? This is the path. Rest everyone is not giving you target value. Now I have one question, I have one task for you. Please pause the video now and try to think that have I written these values right? Are these value will, like जो भी यहाँ लिखा हुआ है ये बिल्कुल सही है, या you are disagreeing with me some values that ये let's say यहाँ 2 नहीं होना चाहिए था, यहाँ 4 होना चाहिए था, if and why, right? Please try to think of it. Come back to my video again in 1 minute. Okay, so maybe if you have thought, if you have read this technique, if you क्या पढ़ाई होगा, you would have read this technique as board marks, right? That is the precedence given to the operators. So what I did when I was when I was in this path, right? This path. So I was doing 1 plus 2. What I'm calculating, 1 plus 2 star 3. And what I did first plus and then multiplied it, and that's why I'm saying 6. But actually mathematical इसका आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? First we will do the multiplication and then plus. So definitely यहाँ पे 9 ना होके this should have been 6, right? Similarly यहाँ पे भी होगा जब हमने 1 minus 2 किया and star 3 किया, यहाँ पे भी. So 1 minus 2 star 3 will give you as 3 to the 6 and minus 5. Minus 5. So this is also wrong, right? तो हमें recursion तो लगाना ही होगा, but हमें इस केस का भी we have to make sure that whenever you are using a multiplication sign at the last, like minus multiplication or plus multiplication. Whenever you are using this thing, you have to make sure that you take the track of your previous values, right? You have to take the track of your previous values. ठीक है, ये कैसे होगा? We will see that how you can handle it. The third point they have mentioned is that you should not have any leading zeros in your path, right? ठीक है, तो हमारे पास अब फंक्शन लिखते हैं. फंक्शन लिख के let us decide that what should be the parameters involved in that function, right? So we have a function. Let's say what should be the parameters. First of all, the answer, इसकी type क्या होगी? Array list of string, because in this we have to append our all path, right? Then what we will have? What we will have then? Then we will have a path, that whatever path we are taking, initially it would be an empty string. Then we will have the target, right? If I'm not wrong, let me see that. Or yep, also the string is also given you as, the given string has given you as num, so you have to pass your given string. So this is nothing but given string, because in this only we have to iterate. Then you have to pass your target, इसी से we have to compare our base condition. Then you have to pass your index, which will be a type int. This will be of type int. This index is nothing but we are iterating in each and every character of your given string. What rest parameters are involved. Then you have a path, right? So in this path you can clearly see when we went from 1 to 2, we this was the character, right? But each and every point we have to maintain its numerical value as well. So this is 12, right? 1 plus 2 will give you as 3, right? Similarly for each and everything you have to maintain the path value, right? तो हम यहाँ पे एक और पैरामीटर बनाएंगे as long path value, and then we will have one more parameter as long previous. This previous is to handle this case, that what if the multiplication come after the plus, after the addition or subtraction. ठीक है, ठीक है. Again, please pause this video again, because there is one more test case given. If you can see in the third case that s is equals to 1 2 and target is 12, then what they have said is that at s itself matches the target, no other strings are possible. So that means we do not have just 3 recursion, right? We have one fourth branch also to recur, and this fourth branch is saying that you just have to include your other characters in yourself, right? So that means it will become as 1 2, right? You have added 2 here, right? And then for this 1 2 you will have to do again 4 recursive call, right? That would be plus, minus, multiplication, and then again add 3. So what will happen here is that 12 plus 3, it would be what? It would be it would be 15. Then you have 12 minus 3, it would be 9. It would have 12 star 3, it would be 36, and then you have 12 1 2 3, right? This would be the case. Am I right? So I think that let's read the question once again. So we have to return all possible strings to insert the binary operators plus minus between the digits of the s so that the resultant expression. Okay, so that means that this thing is not possible, that 15 9 and 36 is not possible. Yes, we can take 1, we can take 1 2, and we can take 1 2 3. Yep, yes. Okay, but again we have to make 4 recursive call, that is for sure, right? Okay, so what would be the base cases? Let us decide the base cases, right? And this is for sure that for each and every character, character, we have to recur for all possibilities, recur for all 4 cases, correct? So what would be this thing? So first of all, we will check our base condition when our recursion was stopping and we were checking the target value. You can see whenever I was at this my last level, where I value becomes the string length, right? 0 1 2 and 3, it becomes 3. So that means whenever my index is becoming the string length, then that means your recursion tree has ended at that point. So I will say my if index is equals to what? String dot length, and string is here written as num. So I will say if it is equals to, one sec, num dot length, right? And what you have to compare, that your path value is equals to target or not. correct? So you will check that if path value is equals to target, then you will include that path in your answer. So I will say answer dot add path, ठीक है, और हम यहाँ से क्या हो जाएंगे, return. So this would be our first base case, ठीक है. Now what we have to do for each and every character we have to recur. So हम एक यहाँ पे एक for loop लिखेंगे. So for I equals to what, index I less than length, मैं बस alien लिख देता हूँ I plus plus, right? Now we will include that character one by one, right? So I will say long. Again, why I'm using the long here, because at worst, what is the maximum uh, value of the number that would be calculating? So plus minus kar rahe hain and we are multiplication, well, we multiplying, right? So whatever be the length of the string, let's say length of the string was given you as 10, right? So in the worst case, you will be multiplying 10 numbers as 1 star, 2 star, 3 star till like 10 numbers, right? And each and every number will give you as 1 0, right? So definitely you are exceeding the power of 10 power 10, or you are like touching the value of 10 power 9 almost, right? And int का range जो होता है वो हमेशा 10 power 9 होता है, right? So there is a high chances that this, for this third branch of multiplication, you can get a overflow of integer, right? So that is why we are using a long variable, right? So from a string, how can we parse our integer value? So for that we have a long dot parse long, right? Similarly, if you have to parse the integer, you will write long dot parse integer. And one more thing again, I would like to add here that please try to understand the logic and code here, because at the last then I will show you the direct code. Please try to understand the pseudo code. I have already explained you how the flow is there. So it's just now the only part is to how we can summarize our just discussed approach into a code. So let us do that. So yep, here is a long current. We will long dot, you use a parse long, and then what I need is that first I need this string first one, and then I have to recur for all the possibilities, right? Two, and then I recur for all possibilities. Then I need 1 2 and recur again, right? And then I need 1 2 3, right? तो मैं क्या करूँगा कि I will just s dot substring of, मैं जिस पोजीशन पे हूँ, right? I am at position ind and I will take I plus 1, correct? ठीक है, यहाँ हो गया. And then I am checking that if index is equals to 0. ये एक पॉइंट है जो समझने में आपको दिक्कत होगी अभी, ठीक है, बट लेट्स से इसे अभी ना लिखते हैं. वॉट एवर वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन आवर रिकर्शन थिंग, हम पहले उसको लिख देते हैं, राइट? एल्स हम यहाँ क्या करेंगे, वी विल जस्ट रिकर अगेन. सो फंक्शन अगेन द आंसर, द पाथ, and then what we need to do in the path, now we have to handle the plus sign. I'll handle the plus, and then I will give my current, right? So this is the 3 recursion steps that you have to write, right? First you have to handle for plus, then minus, and then multiplication, right? And you have your this current character that you have just included, right? That would be going into your path, and then you have this your current given string, you have the target, and then you have this you have to recur for next character. So since you're at I, then you will recur for I plus 1, and then you will have the path value again, and then you have path value plus current, which will give you the number, right? You are doing 1 plus 2, so this will give you as 3, right? So this is storing the, as soon as that you are moving from one point to another, like from 1 you recur for the branch of plus 2, right? So this will have now 1 plus 2, that is 3. What is this current? This current is nothing but it is storing the previous value, right? So when I am doing 1 plus 2, so this entire 3 is getting stored into pval plus current, and this 2 is getting stored into this here current. और यही हमें हेल्प करेगा यार हमारा थर्ड केस लिखने में, ठीक है? So for the multiplication case, what we need to do is, so let's say you have like this, you have 1 plus 2, and then you have to do star 3, right? So I know that this is my pval plus current, so I am writing p pv plus c, right? And I know this is getting stored in my previous variable, right? No, not this one, this is my previous variable, right? So this is getting stored here, previous, and this 3 is my what? This 3 will be my current, right? जो यहाँ से आएगा हमारे पास, यहाँ से आएगा, right? And what I want that instead of 1 plus 2 star 3, I want 2 star 3 पहले calculate हो and then हो plus 1. Can we write something regarding using these variables? If I do, let's say pval plus c minus previous, इससे क्या मिल जाएगा हमारे पास? pval plus c is pointing to 1 plus 2, that is 3. Previous pointing to just this number, so 3 minus 2 which gives you as 1. So definitely हम इसको hold कर चुके हैं, right? Now we just need to add multiplication of 2 star 3, which is here previous star current, right? So I can just write previous star current, right? And now since this was my what, this was my the current character for which I did the processing, and now this will become my this 6 will become my previous character, right? So in the function I will just pass, instead of here it will be replaced by this for the multiplication part, right? And this current, this previous parameter will replace by previous star current, right? आराम से आप time लो, take your time and try to understand how I have written this, right? So for the plus and minus, this function will do the work, but for the multiplication thing we have already discussed why we need to maintain this previous variable here, right? This previous, and how it is helping us. So let me shrink the code a bit more. Yes, I hope it is visible. Okay, so I hope we are clear at this point that why this these two parameter changes for the multiple thing, and everything remains same. Now please pause this video, right, and try to code this step. Just write the skeleton of it. I will explain you how this is coming, right? And for the rest of the things will remain the same. Please pause this video, try to code it, and then we'll resume again. Okay, so I have coded the entire solution. Only two things left to remain. So, but let me give you the code workaround. So we have made an array list of answer, right? And we have this pre-check condition that if the string is null, then the answer, there will be nothing in the answer, right? So we'll return, or if the string length is 0, so we'll return the answer. And then we are calling a helper function, which is taking the answer, the empty string, the given string, the target, the index, the path value, and the previous value. Previous value we have to keep it just to track the previous, to make sure that it can help us in this multiplication case, right? We have already discussed. So rest of the thing goes same. We have this base cases that if index is string dot length, and in that case if the target is equals to p value, path value, then definitely add that path in my answer. What happens next, that for each and every element you have to recur for all the possibilities, as I showed in you the recursion tree. Okay, now we are storing the each and every character whenever we start iterating, and then we are calling these three recursive steps for the plus, for the minus, and for the star. I have explained you very well. I've tried my best to explain you how this expression has changed. The second thing was the leading, it should not contain any leading zero. So that is why I have checked here that if the particular index, the character at particular index, if it is 0, then you don't have to do anything. Do not recur in all the directions for this particular character and break it from there, right? Now let me tell you what this is doing. Now why this is required, right? Because whenever you have a current character, let's say, let me copy this code and then I'll explain. So what I was saying is that what is the important of this particular line? So right, what is happening is that first you have an empty string, right? You pass in your helper function, but then you have in this, using this long current, when you are at I equals to 0, you have this one. Now for this using one, you have to recur for rest of the part, right? So that is what is happening. You have this current, and your path is what? Path plus current is indicating what? Path is nothing but an empty string. Current is not what? 1, right? So you have to again call the helper function, saying that now my path is actually pointing to 1, and recur for rest of the characters, now that is 2 and 3, right? That is why it is needed here. Agar, let's say if was not there, right, then what would have happened, that you would have called this 3 recursive call for an empty path, which is not right, right? At first you should have at least your first character, and then you need to recur. For an empty path, how will you recur for the everything, right? What will happen? Nothing will happen now, right? So that is why whenever we are first calling the recursive function, we are first of all we are checking that if it is calling for the first time, right? If it is calling for the first time, then first you need to make a path. with the first character, and then you have to move on, right? So if I do the system.print.ln at this step, what it will print is it will give me as 1, then the second path as 1 2, and the third part as 1 2 3. So 1 recur for the rest and everything, consider all the possibilities, 1 2, and then again recur in all the 3 directions, and then 1 2 3 recur all the 3 directions. Where is the fourth recursive call that you were talking about, Akshay? So this is the fourth recursive call. As you can see that 1 and 2 are getting attached. As you can see now in 1 and 2, 3 is getting attached, right? That was our call, right? So 1 we recur for plus, we recur for minus, we recur for star, and then the string become as 1 2. Correct? Okay, if you can just use the print statement here as well, it will give you the printing as 1 1 2 comma 1 2 3, right? And trying all possibilities for each of this formation, right? Okay, so I think the code is very clear now, but if at all, if you have any doubts, another further doubts regarding this code, because explanation was very simple. रिकर्जन में यही होता है यार, हमें एक बार रिकर्जन ट्री, एक बार तो रिकर्जन ट्री बनाने में दिक्कत होती है, ठीक है, कुछ कुछ एरर्स है, आई विल सॉल्व इट, बट लेट मी कंप्लीट. हमें एक बार रिकर्जन ट्री बनाने में दिक्कत होती है, एक बार वो बन गया तो कोड लिखने में भी थोड़ा सा दिक्कत होता है, राइट? एंड आई ऑलवेज से कि always try to dry run for the smaller cases, like I showed you to dry run for the smaller case, that is 1 2 3, right? Don't ever try to go for the larger cases, because for the larger cases you must have to have this recursive leap of faith, and everything will work fine. So let me see what's the problem is here. So static reference or enum expected. Oh, I think I have missed some brackets. Okay, somehow this class solution was, I don't know how it was deleted. Let us compile and run it again. And what would be the time complexity? So let us do the time complexity analysis as well. So what are we doing? As you can see, expected and output matches. Let us see the time complexity now. So what is the time complexity? That for each and every, let's say for 1, we were making the 4 recursive calls, as you can see, right? And how many elements are there? N. So, and how many recursive calls are you making? 4. So it would be n into n power 4, right? This would be a time complexity. What would be the space complexity? Space complexity में क्या होगा यार? Let us for each and every you have 3 choices, right? Although we are making 4 recursive call, but given in the question, what choices do you have? 3 choices, right? So that means 3 power n, correct? Also, it would be not n power 4. You have 4 choices for n, and every element has 4 choices. It would be 4 power n. Similarly, given as 3 choices for each and every element, so 3 power n. But if you remember the recursive tree I made, right? So you can see for this one, you have 3 choices, right? And you made the 3 choices and you passed the entire string for this recursive call, right? And this recursive call itself will need the space complexity of O of n, because you pass the entire string for each and every character, right? So that means you have three choices. So that means 3 power n, but for each and every call you are using a recursive stack space of n as well. So it would be n into 3 power n, right? So I hope we are clear on this point. Let us now submit the code and we will see. So great, as you can see, all the test cases have been passed successfully, and we have done a hard level question as well. Again, this question was easy to understand, I can say. The only trickier part, the only thing that we needed to think of, when we made this recursive tree diagram, because it is very mandatory to made for the small case, and when you made it, you have to see that, okay, we have to follow the board mass rule as well, right? So some of the path were giving you the wrong values, wrong answers. So in that case, you need to handle that multiplication case here, as we have derived this multiplication case, right? And that was it. That was the only catch here. And let us meet tomorrow in the tomorrow's streak of day 213. A few last things that you can start and fork my DSA repository to get help with the source code. And let me show you the C++ code as well, and then we'll end this video. Okay, so that's the C++ code, as you can see. Again, the same thing is happening. I don't think there is anything change here. No, instead of array list, we have a vector. Maybe C++ user will relate it well. And let us compile and run, and I will not hit the submit button. I will again push it in my DSL repository. Yes, let us compile. Yep, so it is running fine, right? You can submit this code, and let us meet tomorrow in the tomorrow streak of day 213. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Bye and take care. And do not forget to post your second day of streak of 30 days of challenge on the LinkedIn, right? It is also a good task, a mandatory task, as you can say. It will help you eventually in growing. Right. Let us meet tomorrow. Bye bye.